Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you are listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. Happy to feature again. Can't get these guys on enough of all the great work they do in our community and have been doing for many, many years. The Downtown San Diego Lions Club, we're joined by Douglas Wahl. He is the president, and joined by his first vice president, Jon Mosier. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing great, Drew. First and foremost, thanks again for having us on again. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, listen, you guys have such great content that you never run out of content for that matter. And, you know, that's one of the things we like to do is be consistent and say the message once. You got to say it twice. You got to say it 105 times. Jon, how long have you been involved with the Lions Club?
I joined the Lions Club in 2002, so just a little bit over 20 years.
Oh, very good. Very, very good. Now, does he get the gold watch if he gets the 25 years, Doug? Is that correct?
I mean, you know, we've had members in this club who have been in the club for 50, 60, 70 years.
Okay.
So he's got a ways to go before he gets
okay,
the
so
gold watch.
you heard the challenge. You got 50 more years to go.
I'm a youngster. So.
I know. I wouldn't doubt that. Absolutely. Doug, so just talk a little bit about the mission of the Lions Club, especially what you guys focus on in San Diego.
Well, the Lions, our motto is we serve. And so we run a bunch of different programs for the community. For specifically downtown San Diego is our location. Kind of the next big thing we have coming up that we'll talk about here shortly is we do a scholarship program for some of the local high schools. We run the Lions Community Manor, which is a seniors home downtown San Diego in the Gaslight District. We have the largest youth baseball tourney, which I know you're very familiar with, that we run.
Can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, we do community service in the local area. And I'm sure we do so much more that I'm not even going to be able to cover, but those are, Camp Jack obviously is another big one. That we do, which is a camp for inner city schools.
Right.
Those are kind of our marquee programs.
Right, exactly. And so, Jon, do you focus on a certain aspect of it, or you do all of these different events? You have a certain passion?
I would say one of the things that wasn't mentioned was our grants program.
Yeah.
And the grants program is really important because the nonprofits that are doing work in the community will often run into a roadblock where they need help now, to get their program moving, and we're able to answer those immediate needs in a real short term, where we can keep other nonprofits kind of on track in providing community services. And as we've come to know in the Lions Club, it's the nonprofits and private organizations that do social services better than any government ever can.
You're spot on with this one, comment you made. It's that if you need this funds, resources, whatever, now, you can't wait for a 15-year grant cycle, or whatever the case may be. We need to do X now. This is the amount of money we need to do it. And with that, you've been able to advance it. You're so spot on with that aspect.
That's one of the wonderful things about having a club that's able to answer those kinds of needs in a relatively rapid manner and pretty efficiently.
Right. No, I think that's so critical in that area. Doug, what would you say some of the, challenges you're seeing? You folks have been in this business for a long, long time, of course, that nonprofits are facing these days. Obviously, the pandemic, everyone had to take a little bit of a pivot, to say the least. But other than that, what things do you see that you've been uplifting some of the groups that you've worked with, Doug?
One is membership.
Right.
All nonprofits right now across the board are, we're finding a lack of people who are willing to get involved and give back. And then with that is, I would actually say, labor. Nonprofits, a lot of nonprofits are looking for help. So those were probably the two big things.
Yeah, and you're absolutely just spot on that. We're chatting with Douglas Wahl. He was the president of the Downtown San Diego Lions Club, joined by his first vice president, Jon Mosier. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for 60 years. You know, you hit something that is so critical, and we're seeing it over all sectors, whether it's in the restaurants, whether it's in, pick a topic, right? Labor has been a challenge. And we know with a nonprofit, Jon, you guys know this better than anybody, those nonprofits do amazing work for really, really skimpy staffs. That's always been the case. But when it gets even skimpier, and it's been even more of a challenge to get volunteers to help you, that puts up pretty tough roadblocks, does it not?
It does. I think the key is we have to communicate more clearly the joyful benefits of serving your community. Once people catch the bug for providing service to others, it's hard to contain their enthusiasm, but you have to sort of fertilize the soil and give people the opportunity to serve others so that they know how rewarding it is.
You know, did you tip him off on this, Doug? Because that's one of my favorite comments is I've been saying this, we've been doing this show since 2007, and almost every show we say exactly the words out of your mouth, is that once you get that volunteer bug, and especially a volunteer bug for a nonprofit, it's hard to say no when you come back in that area. And Doug, as you'll attest, because you folks have been doing it for a long time, whether it's volunteering 1 hour a week or 100 hours a week, just volunteer is critical, correct?
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of funny. I can blame Jon for the fact that I'm a Lion. Jon and I served in the Navy together.
Thank you for your service, both of you, by the way. Thank you.
Jon was actually my commanding officer when I was a young lieutenant. And he joined, I just learned this morning that he joined the Lions Club when I was serving for him. And then a couple years later, when I was a little less busy in my life and I came back to San Diego and Jon and I reconnected, we've been friends forever, he recruited me into the Lions Club. So I would say it's probably his fault that I'm a Lion. And
you can say that now that he's not your CO. Or maybe, he is. That's still.
I paid him back by asking him to be my vice president when I was asked to kind of get into the leadership role of the club. And
right.
It's been a pleasure serving with him, both when I was in the Navy. He was a fantastic commanding officer, and it's great serving with him as a Lion, and he's a close personal friend.
Right.
And that's the beauty of the Lions Club, is that you meet people, you have friendships with people who you might not meet otherwise, and then you do great community service.
Yeah, I want to get onto that point right now. Jon, you may not know this. We've been doing a military show with the San Diego Military Advisory Council since 2008. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that organization, SDMAC. Do you go to the events?
I do not, but I am familiar with the organization.
Yeah, they're phenomenal, and love working with them right now. Admiral Mark Ballmer retired as the CEO, but they've a long list of great folks there, and we all know the military serves us in more than one way, obviously defending us on our soil and abroad, but also all the volunteering they're doing while they're active, which is amazing, and even the volunteering they're doing when they're inactive. Do you have a lot of the folks, just like Doug, that you've worked with that you've brought into the Lions Club, or they're volunteering at other organizations that are former or veterans?
Well, I think veterans develop the attitude of service while they're serving.
Right.
So they do make a good recruiting field for volunteers. One of the things to stress about the volunteering for service is that I think there's a misperception that to be a volunteer, you have to do big things.
Right.
And really what volunteering is about is just offering whatever talent you have
That's right.
To an organization, because as with the Lions Club, we have people with lots of different skills, and it doesn't take big things. It takes a sort of sum of little things to make a big impact in the community.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that comment, and you're so true about it, is that, I'll speak from the military as if you're not sitting in the room here, right? You guys are so humble and you're so full of humility in this aspect of it. But there's a lot of people like that, well, what can I possibly lend to the Lions Club? Well, guess what? A million things. Well, you don't think you have a skill set doing X, but I'll tell you, I can find 5 nonprofits that would love to have your brains when it comes to accounting or cabinet making or carpentry or reading or literacy, go down the list. And Doug, that's important to let those nonprofits know that there are people out there that can help.
Yeah, as somebody who serves in the community, I would say you give what you can when you can. And that's kind of the attitude that I would take. I talk to a lot of my Lions, and there are times in their professional life and personal life where things are busy and they're maybe not serving a lot. And there are other times when they have free time and they dig in and they run a program, and it's great. And that's what we're looking for. You come and you give what you can.
Right, exactly. And I know, full disclosure, that your former, the president, good friend of mine, Jose Cruz, was heavily involved, still is involved with the Lions Club as well. Jose is the CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy. We come back from break, we get to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is that venerable baseball tournament. We'll have to brag a little bit about Judge Peter Gallagher. I think, did Peter retire?
27 days.
And 20. Okay, I'm jumping the gun a little bit on this over here. So, Peter, don't get too irritated at me. We'll talk about the Lions tournament and then some of the other programs. Camp Jack. I want to discuss that as well. And the Girl Scouts of America that you're funding some buildings for as well. And as Doug knows, John, we always save time in the second half of the show. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? So be thinking about that as well, all right?
We'll look forward to coming back and chatting about that.
Absolutely. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diegans for more than 60 years. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing terrific things in San Diego for more than 60 years. We are with our friends from the downtown San Diego Lions Club, Douglas Wall, the president of the organization, joined by his first vice president, Jon Mosier. Again, want to thank both of you for your service as well. Doug, talk about the Downtown Lions Club Scholarship Fund, how important it is, and it's creeping up on us, is it not?
Yeah, actually, it is open. So what the Downtown San Diego Lions Club Scholarship is we award a scholarship of $2,000 to a high school senior in our area, which is Hoover, Garfield, Kearney, Twain, Lincoln, Monarch, San Diego, and Gompers High Schools. So you have to be a senior, a U.S. citizen, or a legal resident of San Diego. The scholarship is open now. If a high school senior is interested in applying, they should see their guidance counselor, which will have an application. It's heavy on service. And if a student receives a scholarship, it's $2,000 to a vocational school, a community college, or a four-year school.
Nice.
And they can...
How many do you do? One per school or one for the year? How's that work?
We do somewhere between 10 and 12.
Oh, fantastic! Okay, that's nice. Nice footprint. Now, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing scholarships?
Well, I joined the club in 2009, and we were doing it in 2009 when I joined. So
how about John? You were there in 2002. Were you doing it back then?
The Lions have been doing the Lions Scholarship for as long as I've been a member of the club, so for more than 20 years.
Yeah, no, that sounds terrific. Do you ever go back and chat with the kids who have received their scholarship and say, what are you doing now, and how did that help you?
So the answer to that is yes, we have. But unfortunately, I don't have a good story for you.
Okay.
But I know that we, every now and again, we reach out to some of our former students, and we've attempted to, in the future, or we're going to try to get one or two to come back.
That's great.
And, these are going to be individuals who have graduated school.
Sure.
And have them talk and where has life taken you?
Right. So let's do this. The next time we have you on, or one of the next times we have you on, let's bring in one of those students. How's that sound?
Let's try. That would be awesome.
Okay, very, very good. So once again, I like to give out assignments, John, okay, where I don't have to do any work, of course. I'm good at that. But in true military form, you guys step up to the plate on that as well. Is there a deadline for the scholarship fund?
There is. The application must be submitted by March 15th.
By March 15th. Okay, yes. Very, very good. So they have some time, but let's get in on that as well. And do you take donations for that fund?
We do. The money comes out of our welfare fund.
Sure, right.
So if people want to support it, they can actually go to our website. We have a PayPal account set up. They can donate via credit card right via our website, and they can actually denote in their donation that it's going to the Welfare Foundation, and that is a tax-deductible organization, so that always helps.
Right. One of the wonderful things about the diversity of our club is, we spoke very briefly about Doug and I both having a military background.
Right.
We also have a number of people who are retired educators with a rather deep educational background, which is, I kind of think, the origin of the scholarship program is there are educators who understand what a big impetus is for students to be able to compete for a scholarship like this, and to begin building that ethic of service while they're in high school. So your challenge to us to find one of our graduates is a good one. We'll like to see how they've answered the call for
That's great.
Developing a life of service.
Well, we'll look forward to that interview without question. Again, I'm Drew Schlosberg, and listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We're chatting with our friends from the downtown San Diego Lions Club, Douglas Wahl, the president, joined by his first vice president, Jon Mosier. All right, now we got to talk about our Lions Club baseball tournament. Only been going on since 1951. It is the largest high school tournament in the country. Doug, you want to chat about it, or should we toss it to John?
I would say we're back, baby. I talked to Pete yesterday.
Pete Gallagher, that is, Superior Court Judge. Yeah.
Yes. And this year, as of yesterday, we have 140 teams signed up.
One of the things that's so wonderful about the baseball tournament is seeing how appreciative the coaches and the players are for the chance to play over the spring break and compete with one another. And there's lots of names. The one that pops to mind is Adrian Gonzalez played in our tournament. There have been many, many young people who've had a chance to compete over the spring break, and they are so appreciative and joyful in being able to compete that week.
Well, it's a who's who, and if you listed them all, you'd see a whole bunch of Hall of Famers without question. Certainly all-star players, and again, literally, it's the tournament that people point to in the country as the high school baseball tournament. And how many of those teams come from out of our area, Doug? Do you know?
I don't have the stats, but of the 140 teams that are participating this year, we have teams from Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Nevada.
Right.
And I said, well, last year we had Alaska. A couple years ago we had a team from Canada. And basically what it comes down to is their spring break doesn't match ours.
Right. And we talked about this too with Judge Gallagher, is that it's a nice little economic boost to the community, is it not? These folks who are coming in from other states and other cities, they got to stay at our hotels and eat at our restaurants, correct?
That's 3,000 estimated 3,800 high school students, players that'll be in the tournament. Parents, probably about half or a quarter are from out of town.
Right.
And they love it because they get to come to San Diego.
Right.
Who doesn't want to come to San Diego on spring break?
Not a tough sell point.
Not a tough sell at all, especially if there's any more Arctic freezes going around the country there. So, Doug, is it on the website yet? Is the schedule set, or is it sort of just being developed as we speak?
I believe the schedule is set, but I don't know if we've published it yet.
Okay, and it's played in certainly in many venues around San Diego County, and literally, if you happen to be just a prep sports nut, and if maybe more specifically baseball, and you want to see who the next up-and-comer is going to be, maybe playing for your San Diego Padres or, heaven forbid, the Los Angeles Dodgers, I happen to be a Dodger fan, then it's something you certainly look at. So again, take a look at the Lions Club website for this. It's a great tournament. I'm chatting with our friends from the downtown San Diego Lions Club, Doug Wahl, president, joined by Jon Mosier, the first vice president. You're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the community show. So, John, talk a little bit about, and then if you want to toss it over to Doug, that's fine too, what you folks are doing for the Girl Scouts of America in Balboa Park.
Well, the Girl Scouts have a facility in Balboa Park that was funded partially by the Lions Club Welfare Foundation. We've been a part of funding many similar kinds of facilities, including the San Diego Center for the Blind.
Right.
As we spoke about earlier, our Welfare Foundation has the ability to kind of meet needs quickly, and the Girl Scouts are one for whom we met their need.
Right. No, that's terrific. Talk a little bit about Lions Camp Jack, Doug.
Sure. So Lions Camp Jack, just a couple weeks ago, we came to agreement with Whispering Winds, which is a fantastic camp that we've been using for the last couple of years to do. We have 72 or slots for 72 campers this year. It is a free camp. Kids apply. They can get recommended by counselors, by probation officers, by police officers. Every child goes on a scholarship. The camp this year is going to be held over the week that encompasses the 4th of July, so it's a 6-day camp, and each camper goes on a full scholarship.
And it's named after Jack Wyatt, who was a great guy. He grew up in very, very rough circumstances, and as he succeeded in life, he wanted to offer kids something that he never had a chance to do, which was get away to summer camp. So it's a great legacy item for us to honor the memory of Jack.
Right, that's great. Now, Doug and John, are all of these on the Lions Club website? The Scholarship Fund, Lions Camp Jack, the Lions baseball tournament, anything you want about Lions Club, they can just click on the site?
Anything and everything you want to learn about San Diego Lions Club is sandiegolions.org.
Right.
You could just go to Google and put in Lions or San Diego Lions, and we'll be the first hit. And there is a lot of great information on our website.
Yeah, without question. John, any final comments?
Well, I would just say the other thing is click on our website and then contact us and come and join us for a meeting. There are great rewards for serving your community that you can't imagine till you get involved and start to do something for people and serve your community. So we'd love to host you for a meeting and meet you.
That sounds great. Doug, any final comments?
Yeah, our meetings are we meet twice a month. The first Tuesday of the month, we meet for lunch. The fourth Tuesday of the month, we meet for dinner. We have speakers from the community Drew, you're on our calendar to come talk.
I know, exactly. That one I expect to be sold out.
Yeah.
At least 3 people should be there, at least us 3.
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll get the Currys to come. We'll get Joyce and Sean and see if they can come as well.
Yeah.
And I'm honored, actually, very honored to speak.
I mean, we had the mayor in November. First time I actually got to meet our mayor. Just a phenomenally great speaker.
He's an outstanding
his
speaker.
Passion for San Diego.
Right.
And you can go on our website and you can see who our upcoming speakers are.
That's great.
And then on the website, there's a contact form. You can reach out to us and we'll get back to you. It's, again, a great place to start is the website, and you can see all the great
I'd also say it's a no-lose proposition because you're going to get a great meal as well. The good folks from Las Adas downtown do our catering for us. When you come to the Lions Club for a meeting, you're well fed.
No, that sounds good. Something I could even look more forward to. I'm not sure if my waist size can, but I mean, I know that's going to be a great day, and I'm really honored that you folks asked me to do that. Well, listen, John, a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for all you've done, your service in the military, and especially your service with Lions Club. Appreciate that.
Very nice to meet you, and we're glad to be here.
And Doug, always good to see you again. And I know you'll be thinking about, okay, I better round up that scholarship student and have him come in or her come in the next time we're in, and we'd love to see that as well.
Hey, I wrote it down, and again, thanks for inviting us on and put a spotlight on a lot of the nonprofits and the great work that is done here in San Diego. We really appreciate your effort, Drew.
Yeah, that is absolutely my honor. I'm humbled by that, those comments as well. Again, wishing you nothing but great work at the Downtown San Diego Lions Club. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things in San Diego for more than 60 years.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.